Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E Life in Motion. KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust. Serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson Navigation, serving Guam and Micronesia for 20 years. Cars Plus, Dodge Challenger, the undisputed champion. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dedido. Always open, always local.
Straight ahead on your primetime news, thousands of public school students head back to class. Isabaza was there as the education leader welcomes back the kids. Also tonight, a Guam physician charged with felony family violence and aggravated assault wants his case thrown out. And also, the community speaks out a day after a Grammy-winning singer on island for a benefit concert was caught with illicit drugs. Half a day, everybody, and good evening. If you're watching us live on KUAM TV or streaming us on Facebook Live, thanks so much for tuning in. Well, today was back to school, as it was a very big day as thousands of the island's public school children headed back to class.
But the school year started with a few hiccups for Guam DOE. Isabaza reports.
Summer vacation is officially over. Kids getting their minds back into their textbooks. And it was around the island for Superintendent John Fernandez as he made his rounds during day one of the school year. First stop, George Washington High School.
Like with other schools, we're just monitoring bus operations, we're monitoring lunch, school breakfast and lunch services. Here at GW, there were probably only 20 students who had no schedules, and so in maybe 4 or 5 years ago, there would be 50 to 80 students in the cafeteria at one time trying to get their schedules. So we're doing a lot better, making sure that students know where they need to be.
According to school principal Linda Hernandez Avila, things went well at the home of the Geckos, aside from roughly 20 air conditioning systems that were not operational this morning.
Fernandez says the department continues to monitor AC issues throughout the district and will address them as quickly as possible. He also visited Simon Sanchez High School, where Senator Frank Uggan Jr. raised concerns with the school conducting classes in places like the library, the cafeteria, and even under a tree.
I noticed there was a tremendous amount of disruption among the students to be able to captivate their attention and provide them the proper learning.
Fernandez says the issue stemmed from an occupancy permit that was not approved by DPW until 10 a.m. today. The permit covered 13 rooms. Meanwhile, an additional 7 renovated classrooms are expected to be completed by next month. Building Maintenance Superintendent John Flores says officials were working around the clock to get the permits approved, with Guam Fire Department and Guam EPA inspections happening as late as Wednesday evening.
Past 8, we were here last night.
Principal Carla Masnayon says a contingency plan was in place to ensure there were no issues for students on opening day.
The first day, there's a lot of things that we deal with, for example, making sure that our students are in the classroom. So I'm very thankful that the teachers were very cooperative. Despite all the changes that we had to move them to, they were very patient with us, and I'm very thankful for that.
The staff that are working very hard to make this happen, they made it happen, and I'm glad to know that we were able to get everything up and running by 10 o'clock this morning.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Isabaza.
Well, late busing was an issue for a number of public school students today, as Deputy Superintendent Erica Cruz did confirm that some buses for elementary and middle schools arrived up to 45 minutes to an hour after classes had ended.
Is the problem with the central and northern part of the island, or the schools who are experiencing the late arrival of buses, and in addition to the number of buses that are out, the problem also is traffic.
Cruz says 110 buses may not be sufficient to service both public, private, and charter schools. Bus Operations Superintendent Frank Titano says 189 buses are ideal, but while the agency has 134 buses, they also only have 110 drivers. Titano was out monitoring the situation today and said agencies will work to make improvements over the coming week.
A Guam doctor charged with felony family violence and aggravated assault wants his case dismissed. Dr. Insef Ali was arrested back in May, accused of getting violent over pictures posted by the victim on social media.
Well, Bree, in a filing this week, defense did argue that the police got it all wrong. Crystal Paco explains in our next report.
police got it all wrong. This according to defense for Dr. Insaf Ali, an internal medicine specialist charged with family violence and aggravated assault, both as third-degree felonies. In a motion to dismiss filed this week, defense attorney William Pohl argues prosecutors failed to present all the facts to grand jurors, specifically a letter from the victim which was submitted to the Office of the Attorney General on June 3rd, 10 days before grand jurors reviewed Insaf's case and determined there was enough probable cause to indict him on the charges. Though the victim's letter remains under seal, defense provided a summary in their motion. Quote, the letter not only stated that the information in the magistrate complaint misrepresented her, but that the defendant is not the kind of person who would commit the violence, end quote. Defense further states, quote, the Office of the Attorney General failed to provide a letter from the alleged victim that makes it clear that she disagrees with the accuracy of the police report, disagrees with the appropriateness of the charges, and respectfully requests that the case not be charged, end quote. Defense concluded that the indictment should be dismissed without prejudice as a result. Insaf, meanwhile, appeared in court on Thursday, where the court lifted a stay-away order from the victim because they work in the same place. At the time of the alleged incident, Ali worked at the Guam Regional Medical City. He is no longer a staff physician at the Dededo Hospital. The motion to dismiss will be heard on September 14. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Crystal Paco.
More reaction tonight on the arrest of Yvonne Elliman-Alexander, the award-winning singer and actress dealing with real-world drama here on island.
Busted for weed and meth, but scheduled to headline a concert to raise money for Mount Carmel Catholic School.
They're facing basically possession charges.
Defense attorney Mike Phillips in court on Wednesday representing Grammy Award-winning singer Yvonne Elliman-Alexander and her husband Alan. But the only one making a hit were customs dogs that sniffed out the drugs in their luggage, specifically 3.3 gross grams of suspected marijuana and 3.5 gross grams of suspected ice with a glass pipe, both testing positive. Attorney Phillips, who also chairs the Mount Carmel Foundation, admits the arrest has cast a negative spotlight on the weekend benefit concert.
Obviously, arrests like this, they do taint, but we need to stay focused on the fact that whether you're raising money for Mount Carmel or donating, that allegations like this are very, very serious.
And for many in the community, the arrest has hit a sour note.
I don't know her. I haven't even heard of her. But then just reading that she was going to come in for Mount Carmel, is it? Carmel School? That's kind of odd that, it happened to be... She got arrested the day that she was going to come in, and she's even going to do a performance. So I just thought that's really a bad example for just the kids in general, the public.
I don't think the message she's giving to the students as far as her presence is acceptable.
Even though she was arrested, she's not convicted?
I guess everybody is should be given trial, but if it was the drugs that is illegal here, then it's still appropriate.
The benefit concert scheduled for the Dusitani Guam Resort on Saturday is still a go, with or without the songstress.
My expectation is they'll also participate.
The Alexanders are next scheduled to appear in court in September.
Calls for comment from the superintendent of Catholic schools, Richard Alvia, went unreturned.
Well, we've got more on a story that we brought you earlier this week, as we now have a clear picture of what may have unfolded when police executed a search warrant on a Sinahanya home. According to court documents, when confronted by police on the marijuana plants found in his yard, Peter Pangilinan Regis reportedly told them that he was, quote, trying to fulfill his lifelong dream, and that he received, quote, a sign from God telling him that he should start growing marijuana. Inside the home, authorities also found suspected methamphetamine. He admitted to owning all the items, all of which tested positive for drugs.
There were no visible dead fish washed up ashore by the Hagåtña boat basin this afternoon. However, a net that local fishermen blame for causing the abundance of dead fish on the shore Wednesday morning was still in the water. Guam EPA spokesperson Nick Lee says EPA is waiting for the results from samples that were taken yesterday. Local fishermen are still upset over the dead fish and are calling on senators and regulatory agencies to step in for answers.
Today was day 3 of session as lawmakers tackled the budget, and as our Valerie Maige reports in this next story, it seems they may need more time.
Getting the best bang for their buck. Lawmakers were back in session today trying to better understand the numbers. At issue, Speaker B.J. Cruz's biennial budget substitute Bill 22. But some of his colleagues were unsure of whether to adopt the numbers and the Speaker's idea of revenue projections.
Oh, so you agree with the 2015 and 2016?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just establishing what pretty much we established yesterday, that we disagreed, you disagreed on the 2017 because they were using estimated and not actual.
I think all of us are trying to use just what was audited.
Right.
And so the audited numbers are the 15 and 16.
Okay, great. All right,
so
thanks.
those that we're not all quibbling about. No, at least I'm not.
Vice Speaker Therese Terlahi asking Speaker B.J. Cruz for clarification, and also questioning Department of Administration Director Christine Boleto.
And why are you not using the actual receipts for 2017 versus the projected? Are we tracking to receive this much?
Well, as we mentioned yesterday, it's like at the time, because you were asking about the methodology when they try to come. So this is based on when the budget is submitted. You know, again, we really only have 3 months with which to base the...
All right, so what about today? So here we are today, and you're asking us to consider something. So what would you like us to consider? Should you give us an updated recommendation?
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Valerie Maige.
Lawmakers are currently in recess.
Stay tuned. We're back with more news after the break.
There are more ways to experience KUAM News than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming, KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
For 20 years, Matson has been an important part of our everyday lives. Bringing in the cars we drive, the food we eat, and the materials that helped build our homes. From caring for our land through the Adaki Itano program to generously supporting our local charities, Matson has contributed to the preservation and growth of our island. On behalf of those you've served throughout your 20 years on Guam, Hidus Ma'asi, Matson.
This is Tabby. Tabby's service provider is IT&E. This allows her to walk on campus without having to rely on Wi-Fi.
Hey, Abby. Hey, I switched to the IT&E student plan just like you. I love how affordable their plan is. I'm so glad I switched to IT&E. What?
Get up to 5 gigs a month for just $30 and the first 3 months free at IT&E.
Have you gotten paid yet? That's the premium automatic insurance deduction plan from Calvo's Insurance. Paid simplifies your home and auto insurance. No down payment. No more long lines. And you can stretch your payments up to 12 months. Paid is convenient. It deducts from your payroll, your checking account, or your credit card. With Paid, you get up to 65% off your car insurance and enjoy lifestyle club discounts. Life can be easier when you get paid.
Call Calvo's Insurance today and save on your home and auto insurance.
At Shell, it's about offering more than just fuel. It's about providing service to people. From hot coffees to warm welcomes, from clean bathrooms to fresh food, we're on a mission to make you leave happier than when you arrived. So whatever your journey, we're here. Welcome to service. Welcome to Shell. Serving the islands for over 30 years. Share your story at Shell Foodies Guam on Instagram and Facebook. Hashtag Station Stories, hashtag Shell Guam.
Hyundai's summer clearance event is happening now.
Chuck E. Cheese's Guam is not all fun and games. Our pizza is delicious with the freshest toppings, oven-baked to order. Try the fresh salad bar, sandwiches, and don't forget our mouth-watering wings. Come and eat at Chuck E. Cheese's Guam.
Connect with KUAM News. Find us on your favorite social media platform. Follow us and stay in the know with Guam's news leader.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Visitor industry officials continue to seek ways to bolster the slumping Japanese visitor market. A news conference is scheduled for Monday in Tokyo to reassure Japanese that Guam is still a safe place and to encourage travel here. Speaking at today's Rotary Club of Guam meeting, GVB Research Director Nico Fujikawa says there are several reasons for the downturn.
By saying that we're coming out of July 2017, which was the best July. Japan's LCCs are at a different level. They're still really pushing domestic travel within each other. So the whole nation is retracting, and there's a strong emphasis on domestic travel, reinvesting back into that rather than outbound.
GVB officials also point to a weak yen for the downturn in arrivals on Guam and a lack of airline seat capacity. GVB's Japanese media opportunity next week will be headlined by the Lieutenant Governor as well as GVB officials. And this just into the newsroom. Adelup is telling us that, speaking of tourism, there is a planned fireworks show tonight at the Sheraton at 9 p.m. Please do not be alarmed if you hear loud noises. Once again, a fireworks show into mooning at the Sheraton.
The Committee on the U.S. Military Buildup is holding an informational hearing tomorrow. The agenda will focus on the Navy's efforts on the preparations for the 2015 Marianas Islands Training and Testing Environmental Impact Statement and Overseas Environmental Impact Statement. The hearing takes place Guam Congress Building tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning.
30 of your neighbors are a step closer to joining the ranks of Guam's law enforcement community after completing the 15th Criminal Justice Academy at GCC. Pete Roberto, the chair of the Criminal Justice and Social Sciences Department, says 16 of the cadets are now ready to apply for the Certificate of Criminal Justice. He adds that this academy contains the largest percentage of female cadets to date, with about 36 of those, also commending Janessa Terlahi as the first female class commander of a Criminal Justice Academy at GCC.
The Judiciary of Guam conducted its play-by-the-rules training alongside the Guam Department of Education. The annual training program introduces educators to the second edition of the Student Book and Teacher Guide. Officials saying it touches on emerging issues students face that school administrators and school probation officers see daily. The training gave participants a look at updates to Guam law that include topics like the drinking age, e-cigarettes, vaping, sexting, and cyberbullying. The program teaches and provides youth with the tools needed to prevent crime, save lives, and build safer communities.
With regional headlines now, here's KSPN2 News.
Half a day Guam, here's what's making headlines in the CNMI. A scare at the customs office today required the assistance of the island's only 10-man hazmat team.
A few days ago, customs, called us over to assist them on trying to get a sample of a substance that they seized.
Officer Paul Sasamoto, leader of the hazmat team, says they aren't sure what the chemicals or substances they tested are, so that's why they brought out the entire hazmat operation.
They went through the procedures, the proper procedures.
There were special suits, oxygen tanks, and a rinsing station. And after the hours-long operation starting around 9 a.m. and ending around noon, the hazmat crew handed over their findings to the Customs Department.
So far, we went in there and secured the area and took samples and handed it over to them. So they have 3 different kind of samples.
We tested it and it was inconclusive, so as for right now, we're just going to hold it and wait for further testing with our supervisors, if we can get some.
Maynard Rages is an investigator with the Customs Department. Of the 3 samples, they did not find any evidence that what they found was illegal or dangerous. After 3 full days, today the prosecution and the defense rested in the case of Joden Taitingfong. The prosecution rested after calling and questioning their 15th and final witness, Anthony Taitingfong, Joden Taitingfong's first cousin. Anthony was working for the dispatch center the night of the assault and was shown surveillance footage of the incident. Police had an idea it may have been Joden, but knew Anthony could verify, and he did. And in court, he did the exact same thing. Assistant Attorney General Terry Tenorio showed Anthony the video, and he pointed out his cousin in the courtroom, saying it was the same man. Another witness to take the stand right before Anthony was the ER doctor who treated the 40-year-old Chinese victim the night of the attack. He said she sustained a minor head injury, but showed serious signs of a concussion. And when the victim first walked into the CHCC ER, Dr. Jeremy Devi said he was taken aback by how disfigured her face was. He says her entire face was swollen, specifically her left eye, left cheek, and lips. She had to get a dozen stitches in her mouth to close up a gash inside. One tooth was completely knocked out and 2 others were broken. Due to the injuries, he ordered an X-ray and 2 CAT scans. One of the CAT scans found a small amount of bleeding in her brain. Dr. Devi testified the victim's injuries were made from blunt force trauma, and a fist could have easily caused the injuries. Joden Tai Ting Fong is facing 2 felony charges, robbery and aggravated assault and battery for the brutal beating of a masseuse inside the Micro Beach Hotel on July 7th.
That's your KSPN 2 News Roundup. For more, check out saipantv.com. I'm Sherry Riggs reporting.
All right, thanks so much, Sherry. The weather's been kind of funky lately, so let's go to our weather graphics and see what Mother Nature has in store for us tonight.
From the network that brought you up to 3 times more data comes the dawn of a new data. The epic story of Guam's only network brave enough to give 10 free gigs of bonus data on every line every month to customers who bundle their services. Reviewers are calling the offer totes awesome. Best deal ever. And yes.
Visit gta.net for details.
I prepare. I train. Through strength, determination, and focus, I work hard to achieve my goals. That's why I secure my future with Alpha Insurance. This is what makes you an Alpha.
GU Self-Storage, Guam's newest and largest storage facility with the island's largest variety of storage unit sizes to meet customer demands. Our facility applies the most advanced access and security surveillance system, including the state-of-the-art Easy Code phone app. Keep what's important to you safe and secure with fully covered loading and unloading area in a fully climate-controlled facility. We offer professional packing, pickup, and delivery of your storage items and complimentary use of hand truck, appliance dollies, and pallet jacks, and offer ADA accessible units. For our customer convenience, we offer access to our on-site business center, conference room, and mail hub services. Call our friendly and professional management team at 648-7867 to learn more about our flexible month-to-month lease options with best rates starting as low as $50. GU Self-Storage, located next to McDonald's in Harmon, the old GPA building.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Hey, I thought you were choosing the flute.
Everyone's doing flute.
Buick now has an SUV for that.
Where's your brother?
Hey, Mom, it's a tuba.
Buick Enclave, one of 3 luxury SUVs from the new Buick.
Get 15% below MSRP on all 2017 Enclave leather vehicles. That's over $7,200 on this Enclave. Visit AutoSpot Buick today.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
Woohoo, Thursday, women's, ho ho! Hey, well, it looks like Scholar athletes might have to add flashlights to their school supply list, as high school football is being left in the dark, and it may be lights out. The 2017 Interscholastic Football League season delayed for a week after school officials deemed the GW and JFK fields unplayable for night games. Both schools having safety and lighting issues. Now, this isn't the first time JFK has had issues with lights at their field. GW's problem, old lights rusted out and falling, causing a major safety hazard.